God, I was just thinking about this. So the elephant in the room. I think we can agree, and I think most people would agree, that there are nation state actors that probably are training, equipping, and supporting organizations like this to probe vulnerabilities of the United States. What, hypothetically, if you guys would like to answer this, is the likelihood that the United States is doing the exact same thing facing externally?
I mean, hypothetically, right?
Of course.
Right. I mean,
because we always want to talk about, hey, this is happening to us. We're being targeted by nation states. And again, I'm a huge fan of documentaries. I swear I watched one time about we interrupted the Iranian nuclear program through a coding issue, and it basically got, not that I don't know shit about computers. I know even less about refining uranium for nuclear weapons, but we somehow interrupted it via a software or a malware attack. So is it safe to say that we are also seated at the table?
I think I would say, hypothetically, we as NSA and CIA are very technically savvy, and they're doing things. Now, would we go in and turn off, an enemy's water, right?
Yes.
And,
oh, sorry, that was just me. Sorry,
right.
NSA.
Right. Like hypothetically, in my professional opinion, not Drago's, Kyle's professional opinion, we go to World War III. It's going to be very cyber, and it's going to be very kinetic. And I think all's fair in love and war, right? Like, I think that certain situations, power would be turned off, to parts of a, country, if that's where like the military base was that allowed, supply of nuclear weapons. You know what I mean? I would think that we would be at that level, that we'd be able to do things like that from the US side. I don't know. Like I said, I've been outside of the classified spaces for 3.5 years now, so I have no idea, nor could I speak to it anyways. And I was never actually involved in anything like that. But I know we are a technically savvy country. I would assume that we're paying attention to these type of things. I work with colleagues now that are very savvy in the tech that's used in critical infrastructure. So if they're savvy, I would think that we have operators inside their government walls that are technically savvy as well.
Fair. Gus, what are your hypothetical thoughts?
I would say hypothetically, yes.
Fair enough. We love you, NSA and CIA, listening in. We're just having a nice conversation about hypotheticals.
Please don't come lock me up.
It's totally. Fair to say that all sections of infrastructure, communication, electronic, probably all getting the same level of probing in people, whether it's an individual hacktivist or a state-sponsored organization, that level of activity is probably going on all those sectors as well.
I would say that's safe to say. And all of them have unique challenges and impacts to being an underpinning of society, for sure.
Yeah. From both of you who are obviously experts in this field, what is your level of, 1 being not very concerned, 10 being, hey, like catastrophe is on the horizon, that foreign hackers could actually shut down the water systems here in the US to the point where it would be a National Guard type catastrophe? 1 low, 10 high.
Gus, you go first.
Good move.
I would go with, given all the crap that's going on in the world right now, I think it's pretty elevated. I'd go even like a 6, 5, 6.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I actually was going to say 5. Like, I'm concerned, but I think you would probably start at the power grid level before you hit the water level. I just think the impact itself, but that's just me pontificating and guessing right now.
I would disagree with that. The reason I am, the intelligence community came out with that threat report this year. It showed a change in sort of the way we're looking at threats, where it used to be, like Kyle said, it costs a lot of money developing these tools and they would want to use it on low strategic value. Well, now it's changed where they're like, let's just hit everything and cause mass panic. And hopefully that'll be a deterrent for kinetic, war, response, like for example, against Taiwan. And so they don't care if they're going to shut something down for a long period of time. If they can just cause a bunch of impact by messing with the water system for a few hours or a few days, that's now in their playbook. And that's a problem. That's a real problem. I've lived through pipe breaks where people were like knocking over old ladies in the street, in the grocery store for water because there was a boil water ban. Like all you had to do was boil your water. Yet you're fighting in the grocery store with like some people who can't help themselves for water. Like, that's the problem.
Let's not forget the COVID era toilet paper parking lot brawls.
Yeah.
I'm here for to consume that type of content. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what that says about me, but damn, those videos are good.
all they had to do was buy a bidet and then save their problems, right? You know what I mean?
Or buy a reasonable amount of toilet paper instead of 148 rolls at a time. It's not that there was a toilet paper shortage. There was an excess of assholes who were buying too much.
Yeah, it was comical. Very comical
indeed. Let's roll this kind of like I opened with, my own lack of understanding when it comes to security. A little bit of that, obviously, tongue in cheek. I do try to use, good passwords and stuff like that. So people listening to this, and I want to end with ways that, maybe people could pressure their local communities or governments to be more proactive. But from a personal level, are there any recommendations that you guys would have for people just at a personal level? Because like I said, we all have these damn things, right? Like they're here. People want to get rid of them. Like, I don't know if that's feasible. I would imagine that individuals are as susceptible to being targeted depending on who they are, their stature, what they're worth. Any simple mistakes that you constantly see people making, or a place that you would start people on a journey about being more cyber secure?
Yeah, I would go with using the same password everywhere. A lot of people do that. I would say get a password manager for the accounts you really care about, your banking, things of protecting your social security number, stuff like that. Don't use the same password everywhere.